Nothing. Please put the kettle on.
Thomas, what is it? What is wrong?
Nothing. I just woke up half an hour ago, damn it. Let me be.
Father, there's no way to speak to a woman.
You're right. She's a woman, therefore illogical. And how can I expect to have a logical conversation with an illogical creature?
Father, you're right. It's not her fault.
I'll get it. Good morning, Mr. Pippinquire.
Mrs. Warren?
Thomas, it's Mr. Pippinquire.
William, go tell him the Indians have stolen your sister and I've gone to look for her. Quick, go, run!
Father.
William?
No.
William?
Hold on a moment, please. William, let Mr. Pippinquire in.
Mr. Pippinquire, come on in.
Thomas! Thomas! Mr. Pippinquire's here.
Mr. Good day, Mr. Pippinquire. Jane, bring us some tea. So, Mr. Pippinquire, what brings you to my home at this hour?
It's almost noon, Thomas.
Right.
Thomas, there's something we need to talk about.
Look, Mr. Pippinquire, I really must be getting to work.
On the Sabbath? Mr. Warren, you are where you owe the king taxes.
Sugar, Mr. Pippinquire.
No, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Pippinquire, I'm aware I owe the king taxes. I will pay you as soon as...
As soon as what, Thomas? As soon as you move west? You know you can't do that.
Look, Mr. Pippinquire.
Thomas, the Proclamation of 1763.
Proclamation, smoclaration. I fought for that land and I'll be damned if some king can tell me I can't move there.
Thomas, there's a legitimate reason for that proclamation.
Oh, Tommy, he's right. The proclamation has good intentions. Its purpose is to avoid conflicts with savages in those territories.
You know what? I want some sugar for... Go get me some sugar for my tea. Go.
She's right. Mr. Warren, conversations with the Indians are costly and can be fatal. The Pontiacs are still a threat to the west of the Appalachians.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Woman and British.
Mr. Warren.
I risked my life. I fought alongside my fellow Rogers Rangers, and I fought at Carillon.
Yes, and do you wish to fight again? I heard of Carillon.
If it means getting my just rewards, then yes, 1,000 times yes. The king defeated the French and now collects his taxes from us. But us here in the colonies, what do we get? In fact, I've been ridiculed by British officers.
Be that as it may, Thomas, the proclamation clearly states that no English settler shall settle west of the Appalachian Mountains, and the proclamation is the law of the land.
Whose land? Whose land, Mr. Pippinquire?
I should be going now. I can see you're in no mood for a gentlemanly conversation.
Indeed. Please leave. I'm sure Jane will show you the way out.
Thank you for the tea. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Pippinquire.
Goodbye, Jane.
William, get me my shot, my musket, and my ramrod.
Yes, Father.
Ah, Mr. Warren.
Good day, Mr. Revere.
I'm glad you could make it.
Sir, I would like to inquire as to the purpose of this rendezvous.
I wanted to inform you that the meeting was tonight. And Mr. Hancock will be present.
Mr. Hancock?
Yes, Mr. Hancock. Oh, there he is right now.
Good day, gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Hancock. This is Mr. Warren. He'll be present at the meeting tonight.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Hancock.
A new son of liberty. That'll be wonderful.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, that I can only stay for a short while, but I've come to inform you that this evening's meeting will transpire at the Green Dragon at 7 o'clock. I wonder as to the nature of this meeting.
I'm not sure, but I know it'll be important.
Ah, Mr. Revere, before this meeting transpires, I would like to inform you that I have a massive...
Oh, Mr. Warren's arrived.
Mr. Warren? Well, call it what you may.
No, Mr. Warren, the gentleman we met earlier.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Warren.
Gentlemen, as you may know, 5 years ago my ship the Liberty was seized by British authorities. And since then, I've started a boycott on all tea imported from China by the East India Company.
Yes, Mr. Hancock, and since then your boycotts have caused the East India Company to incur massive debts.
While that is true, it is not enough.
Mr. Hancock is right. My father, he runs a shop, and after the Stamp Act, he's been forced to spend excessive amounts of his profit on every official document he submits.
And now the township acts have raised the price of imported tea so much that it's almost impossible to turn a profit.
Yes, and gentlemen, keep in mind that all these taxes were passed without our consent.
That is also true. But ironically, the price of English tea is very low.
Yes, and that is not a coincidence. By lowering their prices, the British have cornered the market, making it impossible for our local merchants to compete.
Mr. Hancock's right, but what can we do about this incredulous act of injustice?
You're right, something must be done.
Gentlemen, please be seated. That's why I've called you here this evening. Gentlemen, I have brought you here to propose a protest of sorts.
A protest. A protest yields little success. The protests of Philadelphia and New York have done nothing.
Yes, Mr. Hancock, what's so special about your protest? What makes it so different?
Mr. Revere, Mr. Warren, this protest will be a tea party of sorts.
A tea party?
Gentlemen, 6 days from now, 2 ships bearing Her Majesty's seal, laden with tea, will be stationed in Boston Harbor. With the help of Samuel Adams, who brewed this fine ale, I intend to raid these ships and destroy all the tea.
Then I propose a toast to our noble cause.
Bye.
Aye. Good evening, Mr. Hancock.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. I can see you received my message about dressing like Indians, and you've done a horrendous job of it. Now, before we march on, do any of you have any second thoughts?
Absolutely not. The tyranny of the crown has rendered us hopeless.
He's right. Townshend has replaced Pitt in Parliament, and everything's gone downhill. We have no hope for gaining more rights.
That's right. On to Boston Harbor.